Sooners of Oklahoma at 12-0 and still looking for respect nationwide.
What's going on, Sooner Nation? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Obviously, last night was an interesting game, right? A game that, let me see if I can get these. Hold on, guys. A game that I feel like the better team didn't win, and I'm obviously we'll get into that. Took one on the chin. I feel like this game feels different than the other CFP losses. Obviously, I've spent a lot of time since last night, just really honestly, to keep it 100 with you guys, like reflecting myself as if we lost the game. That was a tough pill to swallow. But really doing research and just trying to get a good look and understanding of what a lot of, the general gist was. And it's interesting to see the community who has an issue with BV again, right? We go on the Red November run and, kind of settle some of our issues from prior seasons, beat some really good teams in the SEC, make it to the college football playoffs. And then you got the BV hater crew. And then you got the Arbuckle crew who believe Wilson should be the OC, and he's in over his head. Obviously the Mateer crew, people who think Mateer's trash and he's the primary issue with on the team and concerns. And some of you guys might be saying, well, Mackie, I know you've had issues with Arbuckle and Mateer. I have. I think over the arc of an entire season, there are some things that need to be discussed now that the season is over. However, I do believe both Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer played some of their best and called some of their best football, respectively, for the season. We'll discuss that. Obviously, adjustments and things that happen later on in the game are things that need to be discussed. I think, the two areas of college football this team has been extremely successful with over the course of the season being the defense and the special teams, right? Didn't help out and be a complementary facet in respect to the game, with respect to the game. I mean, flat out, OU scores 24 points and generally is playing with a lead, for half the game, right? You would think with our special teams and defense, obviously that would be a plus for us. And very clearly starting in the second quarter, that was not a plus for us from the special team standpoint and then also on the defensive standpoint. But today I do want to talk about a lens of football that I just had to remind myself of. I observed this last night. And I kind of had to remind myself today. And by the way, people are going to take offense. If you know Barry and I's brand, by the way, Barry's dealing with, he's been having some type of thing. So we were supposed to pod and then my 10 thoughts afterwards, but I'm going to do 10 thoughts now. I want to watch college football here in a second, but we'll do our post-game pod. Hopefully this evening he gets better. He's been ill. And so if he does, we'll do it tonight. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. Obviously, we've got all the time in the world with the season officially ending last night. But though some of you guys have been with us since before we were even on YouTube, we were just on Apple and Spotify. And I told a story of Bob saying to us, I think it was the 99 season, just about football essentially boils down to 5 or 6 plays. Right? Like the game is a game of chess or battleship or whatever, right? But in reality, football boils down to 5 or 6 plays and how you perform. And it's always interesting because the two coaches I hear speak of that the most now were Nick Saban when he and Alabama went on those runs. And then, of course, his number one lieutenant, who now I believe is the best in-game coach in college football today, which is Kirby Smart. They both have that same philosophy of 5 plays. And I think it's important to discuss today because, and you guys have heard me say it, those of you who listen to our pod, you guys have heard me say that, and Barry referenced it in certain situations in games. And I say that because in the same way statistics lied and told a story that suggested we should have lost to Alabama in Tuscaloosa, right? And the statistics said they doubled us. The statistics said time of possession. The statistics said, they essentially dominated us in that respective game. The plays that mattered, we executed. And those 5 plays mattered more than the overarching statistics that made up the 4-quarter game, right? Obviously, the pick 6 that we got in that game, big time. Satania's punt return is one where he takes it 30, 40 yards. And so 40 yards of potential offensive yards weren't necessary because we were already in the plus territory, right on the cusp of the red zone, I believe. But then we get another a punch out on a punt return where we're punting the ball. And their punt returner, I believe Hardy, punches the ball out. Well, we don't need to drive 80 yards to get points, right? We're already there. And then, of course, we have the best field goal kicker in football. And so our offensive game planning and play calling can afford to be conservative because once you get close to an area where we know our kicker can make it, right, we want to take the 3 points. We learned that in the Tennessee game, right? So that is also data that we used in prior games to set up the circumstances in Alabama. And all those are what we would call hidden stats, hidden numbers that the pundits, right, the analysts, right, the national, speakers, College Game Day, whatever, the Fox crew, they didn't want to talk about that component of the game. But let's be honest, guys, those are a lot of the reasons why we won that game. Well, we'll look at the game last night. Let me give you guys the stats. First downs. The entire game, Alabama got 12 first downs. OU got 18. Third down conversions. Alabama got 2 out of 12. OU got 7 out of 18. Fourth down conversions, both teams went 1 for 1. Total yards, OU outclasses Bama by over 100 yards. Passing yards, 232 to 307. OU has 8 more completions than Alabama. Rushing yards, Alabama, even with the big run they have in the third quarter, I believe it's the third quarter with the running back who finally got healthy, guys, they had 28 total rushing yards. OU has 55. Penalties, they had 4 for 46. We had 5 for 50. Turnovers, they had 0. We had 1. I would say we had 2. A muffed punt in the fashion that we muffed it is truly a turnover. So I would call that 2 turnovers, right? But statistically, 1-0. And then you've got time of possession. They possessed the ball for 26 minutes. We possessed the ball for 33 minutes. 26 minutes and 52 seconds, 33 minutes and 8 seconds. What the hell happened? You look at these statistics and then you say, all these statistics, let's throw them in ChatGTP or let's throw them in Claude and let's add OU was able to have a 3-score lead. Mackie, why do you say that? Because how do you call a game? How do you play a game? How do you, address the moment by moment? When you're down 10 versus up 10. When you have the momentum versus when you don't have the momentum. When you're playing at home versus when you're playing away. Those things matter, right? And if we, hypothetically, have a 3-score lead, okay, we're going to run defense a little bit different. We're not going to continue to risk the potential for a cover 0 blitz, right? Some of the stuff Bama was willing to do when they were behind when you're up by 17 points because you're saying we don't want to give them the ability to score fast. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm going somewhere with this, and some of you guys who are on Twitter know where I'm going with this. But football's a smart man's game. Yes, big, strong, fast, bravado, all the physical aspects of the game. I don't think there's one play. There are a couple of plays, actually, but I don't think OU was out-physicaled last night. I would even say in Tuscaloosa, they were a little more physical than us, and we were a little bit more opportunistic, right? And we took advantage of some certain things. But in Norman, their running back met X-Rob in the hole one time and tackled him. That was a phenomenal tackle. And there were a couple times on short or 3rd and 4th and short where we barely got it, versus some of theirs where they were kind of able to muscle through. But aside from that, I don't think that the physical aspect of the game was a big deal. So let's shelve that. Let's talk preparation. Home game, Friday night, under the lights. I loved the aura of, oh, there's rumors, 50 Cent, right? Like, what, right? There's, and the players are coming out, guys, we're black, you know? And by the way, and here I am wearing black today, but a lot of the Sooner fans are like, dude, our colors are crimson and cream. I'm rocking crimson. Respect. I understand that. We're blue blood. We don't change too much. You know, we got the unity uniforms and we, you know, whatever. I actually don't love them watching the games on TV, but I understand why they chose them. No problem. But my point is, preparation-wise, based upon the eye test, based upon the atmosphere. By the way, if you were at the game last night, salute to you guys. It looked killer on TV. Whoever the pregame team and whoever got 50 Cents to come and do the mini men thing, like they understood the moment. And I respect that. I actually made a bet with a lot of my friends. Like, I heard 50 Cent coming. Like, 50 Cent ain't coming. They're going to have a video montage of 50 Cent or somebody. They literally have Buddy on the field and he sang half the song. Loved it. Love it. And so preparation, I don't think anyone can say from a preparation standpoint, we didn't come prepared. We brought it to them. We came out the gates and scored. We came out the gates and put pressure on the quarterback. By the way, Ty Simpson was a deer in headlights, and I learned something last night after the game, and I'll speak to that before I end. Or maybe I'll speak to it now just because I like going on in my head. But is it me, or is he kind of a prick? Did anybody see his demeanor in the post-game interviews? And I know I'm sounding like a negative Nancy. I'm sorry, we lost. But I'm also just watching, and I watched the game. He was scared in the first quarter. By the way, he was making terrible mistakes. I'm talking about Ty Simpson, their quarterback. And at the end of the game, he was like, yeah, we're Kobe Bryant. Job's not done. Yeah, man, it's you guys' fault. The media said Alabama was done. And in my humble opinion, and I think I made some enemies last night and this morning on Twitter because I just refuse to let people tell me what I know. And I'll get to that. But in my humble opinion, like, he's a front runner. He was going to give it up to us. If we don't make the mistake, if we don't blink, and we did, Ty Simpson didn't want no part of that game. Go back and watch the first quarter and a half. It's the first quarter because the second quarter is when they score the tug. But we had the ability to take it back. But that first quarter, he wasn't on no Kobe Bryant stuff. He was the main reason they weren't having success. It passes and squirrely in the pocket, and you know, he's seeing ghosts in the pocket, the whole thing, right? Anyway, park that. But is it safe to say, guys, that preparation-wise, like, we came out ready to play ball, hitting, jump? By the way, okay, so now I want to take it to another level. Quarterback. Okay, let's talk about quarterback in the context of the game. Context of the game. That looked like Michigan, or as close to Michigan as I can remember in terms of our starting Q. Guys, he had anticipation throws. He had a couple squirrely. He had some squirrely stuff happen. Let's not kid ourselves. But he stepped up in the pocket and threw strikes. He threw the in cut, the dig route, the 13 to 18 foot dig route where you get behind the backers and sit under the safeties. He threw those well. He made some sideline throws early in the game, especially. He actually came off his main read a couple of times and was able to find the secondary receiver. Kenneth comes to mind, Burks comes to mind, and he had some bad drops. Now, I guess this is where I'll kind of lead into, there's no one who will change my mind about this one particular play, and I think it's the most important play in the entire game. But before we get to that play, I want to speak to drops because everyone on Twitter is talking about one particular drop. Everybody on Twitter is talking about the X-Rob play, and we'll get to the play. But in the context of football, all right, our receivers had drops. Burks has a drop on third. Actually, Burks has a drop on second down. He runs an in cut. And by the way, ton of traffic. I don't love the decision by Mateer, but I freaking love the execution and I love the accuracy. Perfect pass. And it's a 7-yard in cut. So even if it's a fastball, I don't know if you guys remember, but in the LSU game, I believe it is, I think it's Giovanni or somebody's running it under, and everybody says it's a drop. And I'm telling everybody, good luck trying to catch a seed that's low, but you have to be thumbs down. It's extremely hard to catch. I said, if it's a seed, it needs to be eye level. If you go back and listen to that episode, I say that. This one is perfect. It hits Burks. I don't care how fast you throw the ball. I can catch the ball like this, thumbs up, or thumbs down, ring finger up, right, pointing finger up, that diamond. It's a perfect pass. Burks drops it. By the way, he catches the ball, it's a first down. The next play, we run some type of angle concept in the slot with Satania. We clear it out, and the Satania is coming behind, and Mateer has some type of pressure. He has to step up. He can feel pressure. He doesn't have immediate pressure, and he throws a ball, which I'm not going to say, yeah, it's not perfect. It doesn't hit Satania in the front hip like it could, but it definitely hits him back hip, and it's definitely not a seed. He doesn't throw a fastball. It's a changeup, which means Satania to catch the ball, right? So it's a second down, and then it's a third down, 2 consecutive plays. Burks drops the ball, Satania drops the ball. In my opinion, Mateer's throwing strikes. Receivers are D1, right? Everyone's telling me, Mackey, these are D1 football players who get paid 6-figure contracts. They got to catch the ball. So to your point, everyone who keeps saying that to me on Twitter, I 100% agree, especially if you're a wide receiver whose primary job is to catch the football. I agree. But Mr. and Mrs. Opinion, keep that same energy across the board, because no one is saying today, Satania dropped the ball, Burks dropped the ball, right? Everyone is saying X-Rob dropped the ball. The context here is on those 2 plays, play number 1, Mateer has, he feels the pressure, and there's a ton of stuff happening, and he throws a strike to Burks. He doesn't have an option to lead, to run, to scramble, to do anything. He's got to make a decision. He makes a decision. He executes, and he has accuracy. That's a plus for the Q. They're going to watch film, and Burks had a great day. By the way, best day as a Sooner, as far as I'm concerned. That's a drop. That's a minus in film. Next play, the very next play, Satania has a drop. That's a minus. They're not going to give Mateer a minus because it's on the back hip instead of the front hip, especially since he throws a changeup, which is a catchable ball. Satania takes his eye off it. It's not a perfect throw. In this context and scheme of the game, damn it, receivers got to make a better play. Fair. But while on the subject of drops, well, let's stay with the quarterback. Mateer throws for 307 yards. I think he's responsible for like 350 total yards, passing and running. Guys, he stretches out plays and throws strikes. He scrambles the ball. He scrambles with the ball and picks up, chunk plays, first downs on thirds and shorts or running the QB counter, and he scores a touchdown in the red zone, right? Like, in some respects, Mateer's cooking. Relative to any game, I would even say he played better than Temple. I didn't like the way he threw the ball in Temple. He missed wide open receivers. We beat him pretty bad, and he did throw some good balls, but he threw way more terrible balls in Temple, I think, than he did against Bama last night. And that is thinking about the Giovanni Gibson play. That's probably a touchdown in the first quarter. We go on to score on that drive, but that's a terrible throw, right? We all know what I'm talking about. He throws a sidearm throw. He doesn't need to. He's got a clean pocket and, mechanics, right? We know the Mateer mechanics issue. But I would even say, if someone said, did our Q go into that game ready to play? Hell yeah. I would even say, and again, I know people are going to disagree with me. I've read the message boards. I've been on Twitter. I'm watching the stuff. I'm looking at YouTube videos. People are down on Arbuckle. They're down on it. I'm going to talk about the second half, what they did, and how they took advantage of our young offensive line. I'm going to tell you strategically what they did. It was after they did it for 3 straight possessions, it's like, okay. And then after our offensive line couldn't really adapt to it consistently, right? it was those of you who know, watch, and understand football, right? So I'll explain that, I promise you. But if we're talking about this game, I can't say Arbuckle like had the same functional issues that I saw him have earlier in the year, where I'm like, what the H? What the hell is our identity? We saw our identity. You know what our identity was? It was like very similar to Michigan. Respect our quarterback. You got to put an extra man in the box. If you keep a light box, we know we have enough blockers to block your guys, and you won't have anyone for the quarterback. And then, of course, Alabama made an adjustment, which was smart. They went to some cover 4 and some cover 1-0. They got out of too high. They went cover 4, so their safeties could be sitting at around 8, and they triggered whichever way it was coming. The safeties triggered, and we couldn't beat it. And then they did a lot of 1 and 0. Right, so pre-snap, is it 4, is it 1, is it 0? And then they really started to play with us third, fourth quarter, and I'll get into that in a second. But the plan looked good. We had a lot of rollout. We had a lot of boot. We had a lot of pre-snap motion, post-snap motion, muddle, huddle, quick hurry up just so they can't sub, and then we go into plays. We had some things working, and I think it's important to not minimize that, because this is my final point. We, as Sooner fans, didn't have very many competitive games against equal talent where we were playing with a lead. All right, take the preseason out and scrap it. We never built a 3-score lead against Auburn. Never happened. We never had a 3-score lead against Tennessee. We never had a 3-score lead against Bama. We never had a 3-score lead against Mizzou. We never had a 3-score lead against LSU. Those were games where the entirety of the game, we were fighting, not for our lives, but in a fist fight, in a brawl. And we got comfortable in that fashion. There's something to be said about playing in a game when you have a lead. And I think that's the component that most of our fans today are missing out on, and yesterday. And because I watched this, yes, I analyze the game and I have a platform and I have a podcast, but I have been a fan since I left. Guys, I don't miss a game. I'm a fan. I was a fan of Mateer. The reason I have had reservations is because the body of work this season, right? If that makes sense. And every year, if you were on the Old School Rivals, I was the same. If you listened to our pod before YouTube, I was the same. I am a fan. Obviously, I'm an alum, an ex-player. I got my 1 ring on today, but I'm a fan. So I always try to have empathy for the fan's perspective. What I'm going to ask for today is, can you minimally take some empathy for a player's perspective who is in those rooms with the coaches, who behind those closed doors, they're never going to tell the casual fan, the media, they're never going to say what they say inside of those meetings to that community. I've been there. And I'm here to tell you, my biggest issue in last night's game is how we handled playing with a lead. Okay, I'm going to take the next 15 to 20 minutes to just talk about the play. I wish I was a little bit better at technology. I recorded the play, and I want to address, I'm going to unpack this. Okay? OU is playing. We go down, score 17 points. By the way, beautiful football. By the way, he made some great decisions on RPOs. They ran the delay RPO for the touchdown to Satania. Beautiful play, right? Satania almost drops it. If you notice, he kind of catches it on his hip and then he catches it, but it's a touchdown. Burks has a touchdown. Beautiful play on an in cut, right? We kick a field goal, right? Again, Bama's got a really good defense. I think Blaylock missed some stuff, and instead of trying to make a guy miss, tries to run down the middle of a guy. But we know who he is. He's a freshman. He'll get better. And I don't think he didn't play well. But we go down to score 17. The next possession, on Twitter, I say, okay, defense, right? Like it's literally to the point where we can like kind of put the game away, where unless we do something ignorant, stupid, right? We do some type of self-injury. Like the game is ours to lose. There it is. How many games this year did we play against tough competition where we were in a position to be winning, and the only way we lose is if we screw it up? How many games were we in this year when we had that? Again, I'm not talking about the early season games. I would say South Carolina was a game that comes to mind where we had enough momentum where really, so long as we don't give it back, it's going to be excuse my French, but a motherfucker for them to come back and win the game. You know what other game comes to mind a little bit? It's Tennessee. After everything that happens, we get the ball back, and X-Rob breaks. And it's one of those moments where I forget if we're a 4 or 5 or what it was, but if he kneels at the 1. Does he kneel or score? That's a game where our tactical decisions are going to make or break the game. And in that game, we did not make the decision to just put the game away. If you guys remember, we had to like deal with more adversity because he breaks and he takes the knee. I don't have a problem with that. I said in the game, I would have tried to score. I would have scored. I would have wanted the stat, and it would put us up 2 scores, right? So all of that is in play, but he takes the knee. I'm going somewhere with this. Once he takes the knee, the tactical thing to do at that point is to take 2 more knees to force their timeouts and to run more clock. We don't. We take the knee, and then the very next play, Mateer runs QB draw, and Mateer gets a touchdown. And when that happens, we give Tennessee the ability to possess the ball, to go in and score, and potentially put themselves in a position for an onside kick. And all of that stuff happens, and then boom, we get the onside kick. Thanks, Jesus. But tactically, if we simply take 2 more knees, force the timeouts, now they have no timeouts. They had timeouts because we scored the next play, right? If we take 3 knees and kick it on 4th down, we run the clock down to a minute. Now they've got no timeouts and a minute, and we still kick the field goal, and we're still up 2 possessions. Now it's a totally different outlook, but that's the tactical part of the game. And that's the part where there was a red flag that night. That's a red flag. On that post-game pod, I said it. Go back and listen. I said Kirby Smart doesn't handle it that way. I said it. Nick Saban doesn't handle it that way. So in that game, everyone knows I love BV. Everyone knows I believe he's going to get the job done. I believe he needs to make some coaching changes. I believe yesterday's game was potentially a learning lesson, but and his defense was ass more than it was any time this entire year. But gosh dang it, defense next year. I am not on the fire BV train, but I was upset with the tactical approach to the end of that game. Now let's get back to the play. We're up 17. We're getting on defense. It started in 3. Remember what I said right at the beginning. Because we're up 17, it doesn't make sense for us to go 0 blitz. But we didn't do it, right? And Tyson's playing our safety who's 10 yards off the ball has to cover there. The guy ends up being a stud last night, right? Number 17, true freshman, or I think he's a true freshman. Kid runs the corner out. Ty Simpson throws the ball to a spot. Kid runs under the ball. He catches the ball. If we stop that 3rd down, they've got to punt. The game is probably over. They catch the ball. They're Bama. They don't suck. They got dudes. They got scholarship guys. Same possession. They're driving. And if you guys go back and watch, by the way, 22 starters hits this. People on Twitter know what I'm talking about. Kip and Heineke are in on that possession. That possession where all this is happening. Later on in the possession, they pick up a 1st down. I don't remember the play. But they sub in McKenzie and Samuel. And thankfully, somebody tripping in. I am Okay, I'm not looking at the comments right now. But they sub in Samuel and they sub in McKenzie. And I don't want to belabor it, right? They are just not as tight in coverage. Again, we've said this all year. And on that possession, when they get into the red zone, Samuel just leaves the tight end open for a touchdown. Thank God. Ty Simpson at that time is still seeing ghosts and he just misses the throw. It's a walk-in. But on the next play, McKenzie drops, and I don't know. I don't know what the call was, but McKenzie drops to the weak side of the formation where there's two receivers. They run a flood route to the field side. 17 catches the ball, and I don't know what the hell McKenzie's doing on that play. If you go watch the play, it's actually extremely bad for your middle backer to look that lost on that play. And then Peyton Bowen and a couple of the guys miss. He scores. By the way, I'm not even saying this to blame anybody. I do have a tactical issue with the 22 starters, as I had all year, right? In my opinion, if you got to give Kip and Heineke a rest, one, give one a rest. Two, damn it, you know what we used to do? He'd make us run more gasser, so we're in better shape. We're not subbing Roy out because there's 12 plays in the drive and we just want to. We were definitely not subbing Roy, T. Marshall, and Rocky Kalmus out to put in the twos just to have the two. Like, think about that part. Like, right, that part to me, I'll never understand it. BB has his plan. It's worked. I'm not going to hate. But they gave up a TD. Okay. OU's got 17. Bama's got 7. We clearly have the momentum. We're at home. We've overcome a little bit of adversity. They've finally gotten off the mat. Literally a standing 8 count. And they're going to see what we're going to do. And I'm building this up because everybody goes to this one play. Guys, I've literally had, and I'll answer questions. Guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to look at the comments probably for the next 20 minutes. You guys can leave stuff. Obviously, if you super chat, I'll check it out. But I'm going to just do some Q&A at the end. And by the way, let's be raw. People who don't listen to this live, you guys will have this to go refer back to because I'm going to just say my opinion. And I know I'm right because these are conversations I've had with Bob. I know I'm right because I've been in coaching rooms when you talk about these scenarios. And I'm going to explain to you how it's addressed in practice. I'm telling you, like, this is addressed in practice. People are like, split decision. Bullshit. It's not a split decision. They score. After they score, we respond. I think we don't try to advance the kickoff. We try to run the ball a few times with semi-success. Mateer throws a strike. I want to say to Jermichael Carter. I think that's who it's to. It could be him or it could be, I don't remember, but we immediately throw an in cut and we go from like the 25 to like the 40. And then maybe we try to run the ball a few times. Guys, I haven't queued up the whole game. My point is, it's not like a 3-and-out scenario where we're like, holy shit, we suck, right? Like, no, they scored. Okay, bad. We on deck. It's 3rd and 3. And I could spend 20 minutes on this play. It's 3rd and 3. By the way, they disguise a phenomenal blitz. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the play side or it's like the overhang. The overhang safety comes on a late blitz. He doesn't show it. He's not at blitz depth. He's at coverage depth. So pre-snap, the offensive line is not going to consider him in their blocking. Okay, and he's essentially Mateer's man because he's a coverage guy. So the rules are, if someone is considered in the box, the scheme is supposed to address how to block them. If they are not in the box, you call that's my guy. And if they've got more than we can block in the box, the quarterback identifies to everybody the person he's responsible for. It could be the person in the A gap, it could be the outside man, or whoever the QB picks, right? That's the way it works. On the play, the guy's at coverage depth. The offensive line doesn't put him in the blocking scheme, okay? And he's not going to get there in 1 second. He's got to come. The guy comes. Mateer's been playing damn good. I don't think Mateer saw him until like a second before he's there. Mateer shuffles, steps up. The guy misses. It's 3rd and 3. At that point, we know it's man. I haven't looked at the play to see what the addition, the called play design was. The intentional. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know. I honestly don't know. People wanted to argue me, and I'll get into the arguments here in a second. But I just want you guys to understand, we're playing with momentum. We're playing with the lead. I'm going to get into the factors in a second. Let's just do the play first. Mateer beats the guy. He beats the guy who's to the field. Go watch it. I have it queued up. I'll post it on my Twitter as just a video. I don't know how to do like the YouTube behind me kind of thing, but I'll post it on my Twitter. He beats the guy. When he beats the guy, he leaks left. Mateer's right-handed. When he leaks left, guys, he tucks the ball. Mateer is a running quarterback. Mateer is a guy who is a threat with his feet. I'm not going to get into the other stuff yet. As the play is happening live, I'm like, oh, stud, hell yes. He's going to get the first. In fact, it's man, and we're running deep routes. The defense is turning its back and running with guys. There's no immediate pressure. The only semi guy in the area is the guy covering Satania, who, by the way, is open. Satania is running like an 8 to 12 yard drag kind of a play. Satania's open, and he's a quicker throw, and his guy is somewhere. He's open, but his guy is in the area. There's somebody going up the boundaries, probably the X receiver. We know now X-Rob has run some route, and then when he sees his quarterback leaks, he gets across the field, which are scramble rules, fair, super fair, and then I don't know what Z's doing. Z's either running a go route himself or doing something you can't see him. When you're playing with the lead and momentum, and if you ask people over the course of the year, what's your quarterback's best attribute you've seen him do over the course of the year, people say run with the football. It's 3rd and 3. You've got to run and get that first down. Listen to me. In film, 100 out of 100 times, Bob Stoops is going to say, son, we have the lead. We're at home. There's 4 minutes left in the half. Run the ball. We have momentum. Worst case scenario, he gets the first. There's no question. I believe he gets into field goal range just because he's a good runner. But let's just say he gets to the 50. Let's just say he gets to the plus 45. Worst case scenario, the clock's running and it's first down. They can't call timeouts yet. They're not going to call. Now, they might call timeouts later if we continue to possess the ball. They might call timeout a little bit further down the line. But between 4 minutes and 2 minutes, we're guaranteed to take the ball to the 2-minute warning if we just run the ball 3 times. Let's say we lose. Let's say we lose yards. Let's say there's a holding penalty. Let's say worst case scenario, because everybody kept telling me, what if? And the thing that just, I'm like, am I taking crazy pills? People are asking me the what ifs when they know what happened. Let's talk about what happened. And I want to make sure I nuance this out because I want people to understand hating versus like critical analysis of the game. Here's what happened. Mateer beats the blitz, shuffle, steps up, kind of kicks his leg out, right? I guarantee you the safety's like, oh shit. And I guarantee you he says it again when he knows Mateer replaces him. Does anybody know how to beat blitz? Replace it, because that's the void. The blitz comes and creates a void. We weren't running 3 quick slants where there's 4 guys looking at the middle of the field. We're running deep stuff where guys are running with our guys. When he beats him, again, I already referenced it, he literally tucked the ball. So now there's people saying, yeah, man, he should have threw the ball, but he did that double jump thing. You know why he had to do the double jump thing? It's because he had already tucked the ball. If he was still carrying the ball high, he probably would have did it still. But if he has the ball high, that's different. He didn't. He tucked it. Go watch the play. He sees the open guy. I got you. We're not even going to get into the open guy yet. Okay? And he throws the ball. Listen to me. If we score a touchdown, I would have still said, I wish we would have run and got the first. That's stupid, Mackie. Somebody said you're playing scared. No, we're up 10. We're at home. We've dominated the first half. Worst case scenario is he gets the first down and we possess the ball and we have to punt or kick a field goal, but the next play isn't the next play. And we all know what happened the next play. I didn't know what was going to happen the next play when I said I wish he had run the ball. I didn't know X-Rob was going to drop it when I said I wish he had run the ball. Why? Because that's what winning football is. When you're up 10 and at home with the momentum and 50 cents getting ready to come out, which we don't know yet, the objective is to play winning football. At that point, all we need to do is possess the ball. It's called situational football. Now let's get to the positions, because I started the deal out, and no one went in the Zoom in the chat and said Satania sucks because he dropped that third down earlier in the game. Satania dropped a 3rd and 5. No one is saying he sucks. No one is saying Burke sucks because he dropped the play before. No one is saying the Alabama receiver, I think his name is Benjamin, who's definitely the highest rated receiver in that game, number 5, who dropped a pass while on his knees. No one is saying Bama lost because he dropped the pass. And by the way, guys, he's a D1 receiver whose primary responsibility is to catch the ball. Bernard, yes, his primary job is to catch the ball. He's on scholarship to catch the ball, and he's an NFL dude. Dude's going to play on Sundays. There's no question. He's the highest rated receiver in the game. He had a drop. You know why? Because in any given game, when you throw the ball, the quarterback can do everything correct. And if the other guy at the end of it drops the ball, guess what? That's a risk you take when you throw the ball. It's why for 50, 60 years, nobody really threw the ball. It was an unnecessary risk. Okay, let's take it a step deeper. Because I'm getting, Mackie, you're on this hill, you're just being stubborn. No, I'm not. When they watch film today, when Mateer and BV talk, Arbuckle talk, they're going to say, damn it. The rule book of how to play winning football says, in this situation, you possess the ball. This still is not even addressing. We know the next play we drop the punt. We know 2 plays later there's a pick 6. If we get the first, none of that happens. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact. You guys are killing me. I'm trying not to look. You guys are cracking me up. I'm talking about the fact. For everyone, guys, we need to recondition our brain. Mateer played well enough to win last night. Mackey's not going to say he sucked last night. Mateer threw strikes last night. Mackey's not going to say that. Mateer threw a phenomenal pass to X-Rob last night. Mackey's not going to say he didn't. He still made the wrong decision for situational football. People keep saying, but Mackey, you're going to pass up a touchdown. It's not a touchdown until it's open, and then you throw it correctly, and then he catches the ball. Mateer already had it tucked. There's a guaranteed first down, up 2 possessions, going to be in plus territory with the clock running. The community who keeps telling me, every time I would throw the ball. That's why you coach Pee Wee or didn't play big time. I'm not hating Mackie. It's not, guys. It's winning football. The curse. Cowboys, relax, bro. Relax. That's a decision QB has to make. Okay, so let's talk about the position. How many over routes have we seen X-Rob catch this year? How many 30-yard passes have we seen him catch? When the ball, so let me give you some nuances. Mateer's right-handed. He's rolling to his left. In order to lead X-Rob, the ball has to spin the opposite direction. He has to get his body to torque and by the way, he has the natural sidearm. So in other words, when a right arm person is throwing the ball to the right, the spiral is going to spiral to the right, nose down. When a right arm person has to throw the ball to the left while running to the left, the nose is going to go the other way. You know why he alligator armed it? Because he wasn't anticipating the actual trajectory of the ball, which was spinning the opposite way. Not making an excuse. Catch the damn ball. What I'm saying is he's a sophomore running back who is hurt, who they clearly schemed up a play for him to do something down the field. It was not an over route, guys. People were like, they clearly practiced in practice. No, they didn't. Mateer beat the play and scrambled. You know what X-Rob did? Scramble drill. You know what you're supposed to do if you're scramble drill and you're the deep side across the field. He was doing what he was coached to do. The point is, we didn't have to make the play. We had a first down in our pocket, and people want to argue me that, yeah, but we had a touchdown. Again, I have the angle. I agree, X-Rob is kind of injured, but I have the angle that based upon when the ball is thrown, for X-Rob to catch it, he drops it. I don't think he scores. The guy is trailing him by 1.5 yards. He's open to where he can catch it unimpeded, but it's not like he throws him the ball where it's over his shoulder and he's just trotting to the end zone. No, it's not. He's actually running to the sideline. Go back and watch the play. It's not a guaranteed touchdown. So everyone keeps saying, Mackie, a guaranteed touchdown for, it wasn't. I want to post it. I got the angle that shows how the ball is coming from to catch it. That wasn't a guaranteed touchdown. It was a great throw. It was on target. Mateer executes what he was trying to do perfectly. But listen to me. It's still bad situational football. There's no reason up 10 at home with the ball. They just scored, so now we need to knock them back down. We're not in field goal range yet. We don't need to take the unnecessary risk. I guarantee you, Kirby Smart's quarterback doesn't throw that ball. I guarantee you. Okay, Mackie, what would they have done? Let me tell you what I know they've done. Every day in practice, there's probably 2 to 4 periods. It's not every day, but every day you were doing a full practice, not a walkthrough. All right? But every day you're doing a full day in practice of, shells or fully dressed. They have 2 to 4 periods, and it's called situational. And you know what they practice a ton? They practice third and short. They practice third and medium. They practice third and long. And then they practice drive. And all of those are important in this scenario. And they do it in spring. They do it in fall camp. They do it game weeks. We used to do it every Thursday. Do you guys know why they do that? Because it becomes muscle memory to the players what you're supposed to do in those scenarios. When it's third and short, if we run the ball, what should we do? If we pass the ball in action, what should we do? If we have to scramble, what should we do? If it's third and short and we have a bad snap, what do? You practice that all spring when you're in spring ball with pads on. You practice that fall camp. You practice that every game week. Third and medium, third and long. And then they do down and distance, right? It's 1st and 10, it's 2nd and 7, it's 3rd and 6. Why do you do that? Because guys know, right? 4-minute drill. Guys know, okay, it's 2nd and 7. Guys, I'm gonna get back to that point. But this is how I capture this. If it were 2nd and 3, Mateer gets 10 pluses. If there's 30 seconds left in the half, Mateer gets 10 pluses. If we're down 10 points and we're trying to catch momentum, Mateer gets 10 pluses. Right? Everyone's talking about, yeah, you're saying that because they didn't. No, I'm not. I'm saying that because football has a formula to winning. It's just like how they use analytics now to go when you go for 2 versus when you go for 1. If you would have asked a chatbot on that play, based upon that scenario, what best practices, the chatbot would say, take the ball, get the first, run the clock. Up 10, got momentum, quarterback's playing well, and you don't give them, let's say we score, we give them the ball back with 4 minutes. I'm telling you, the only reason it's a bad decision is because it's 3rd and 3 with 4 minutes left in the half. They get the ball back after halftime. We have the momentum and a guaranteed first down. If Mateer's in the pocket and he's, the bullets are flying and he throws a seed, bro, no one's complaining, right? Like that's a hell of a job. That's why I say Mateer didn't play bad. But that play, And I haven't even gotten to it yet. Everyone knows, there's 101 of you guys on here live with me, but you guys all know what was the next play. My question is, we know without a doubt what happened next, and we know the play that happened next without a doubt was the catalyst to the collapse. ESPN posted it. Prior to the muffed punt, there was an 89% chance we were going to win, even after they scored. After the muffed punt, it was 63%. After the pick six, it was 46%. In 5 plays, we went from 89% to less than 50%. If we just possess the ball, we run 2 additional minutes off the clock. And then there's a different punting situation. For whatever reason, I don't know why our punter just doesn't take the next step. He just takes 2 steps instead of taking 3 steps to kick. I don't know. But what I do know is we wouldn't have even seen that play if we simply get the first. Guys, here's the other thing. The what if community, he could have scored. Mateer is a good enough runner to, without ever having to leave the ball from his high and tight, he potentially scores. We don't know, and I don't want to live in what ifs, but what I do know is football is a formulaic game. It's all the physical stuff. It's all the prep stuff, but it's also a formula. The formula says you possess the ball. That's it. We're going to get to the reffing. Yeah, they flipped the field on that go route where the right tackle on live TV, he's moving early. What are we doing? I'm like, oh, these must be the Kansas City Chiefs refs. Okay, let me stop showing my Niner bias in the Super Bowls where Kansas City Chiefs never get penalties and the 49ers always get these phantom calls. But that guy's clearly early. Kansas City Chiefs always, their tackles are always a little early, kick stepping, right? But dude's definitely early. Everybody said it was a penalty. Even the consulting ref that kind of gives us the insight, he said, yeah, I had that as a false start. Let's not talk about RMT, hog tied every play. The guy hog ties him and then goes like this. Generally, when people do this, doesn't that mean throw the flag because they know they did something guilty again? So yeah, the rest are their own thing. The rest, okay, Kachi goaded. I 100% agree. But what I want to talk about, guys, is to control what we can control. A wise man named Bob Stoops once told me, control what you can control. If Mateer beats that guy, can he control getting the first down? Yes. Does the offense, the Oklahoma Sooners, control the clock still? Yes. That's the number one objective when you're up. You don't have to beat them 50-7. You just have to beat them. And the only thing we don't want to do is give them momentum going back into the locker room. Yeah, they might come out ready to kill it anyway, but at least we want them to have to come out and have some scores to overcome before they can catch us. We're up 2 scores at that point. Okay. Mateer throws the ball. Can he control if we catch the ball? Can he control if an offensive lineman thought he was going to run and was downfield? We have the lead. We're at home. Control what you can control. 2nd and 3, have at it. 30 seconds left in the half, have at it. We're down 4 points. We're down 10 points. Have at it. It's Satania. I still say run the ball. Again, I'll make this last point and then we'll move on. X-Rob dropped. It was a perfect pass. So did Bernard. So did Ryan Williams. So did 3 Alabama receivers who are probably all going to at least get a minimum cup of coffee in the NFL. Guys, they had drops on perfect passes because people drop passes way more than people fumble when they have the ball, especially a quarterback who knows not to take big hits and can slide. The play's the play. But here's the part that hurts my heart, right? Because I literally say live before the punt. I say, dude, I don't want anybody saying, well, actually, that's not what I said. What I said is that's why you just run the ball instead of trying to throw the 30-yard over route to a running back. I guarantee you, X-Rob has never had that type of play under that type of pressure in that type of environment where he was asked to make that play. That's a lot of variables and unknowns where we all know Mateer has already scored a touchdown. He's already beat the blitzer. They're in man coverage, and it's third down. He probably gets 20 yards. We're probably in field goal range. And Bama's feeling sorry for themselves. The key is all the momentum we give, they are now tanking, right? So the momentum doesn't like leave and go into another world. The momentum we possess starts to go their way, which means they're going to have a pull for more momentum. And when they got it, they kind of didn't give it back. They never did anything cockamamie like that when they had the momentum to give us a chance to get it back. They never did. Like DeBoer said at halftime, he said, when you're in a game like that, you know they're going to give you an opportunity to get back in the game. And when they do, you got to take it. So the only possibility they had was for us to give them something. And I'm not saying Mateer gave them something. The punter did the next play. But Mateer controlled our ability to not give them something. Again, situational football. Would you rather be up 24-7 with 4 minutes left with the possibility that we could throw a pick six anyway, right? We're up 24-7. They might score a touchdown and get a pick six anyway. Or would you prefer to be up 17-7 with the potential, guaranteed, it's guaranteed 17-7 with the ball, 4 minutes, and you still have the potential to score 24-7, but there's not going to be enough time for them to get to possess the ball twice. I think we can all agree. We keep the ball to the 2-minute warning. Let's say we miss the field goal. We have to punt, whatever the case may be, right? And they go down and score 17-14 after the 2-minute warning. We're not running the play that we get a pick six on. We might just kneel on the ball and go up 3, going and a half up 3. All of those things happen because we took control out of the game. The play, I said there's 5 plays. Bob Stoops said there's 5 plays. Men, games are generally won and lost on 5 plays. No one can say that that play isn't one of the 5 plays, even though he makes the right read and there's a drop, right? There's a bunch of drops, but that drop is the catalyst to the muffed punt and the pick six, and there being enough time for all of that stuff to happen. Now we go into halftime with them coming out with the ball 0-0. So I'm going to go back to my first point, and then we'll move on in the game. That's why I say I have to remember, like, by the way, that didn't make sense to me either until I'm sitting in meetings with Bob and he's explaining to us why this one thing we did in this one play that I was like, that play doesn't matter. Oh, shoot, that play did matter because if I had run proper depth, the ball would be there. I would have caught the ball. We wouldn't have had to punt. Oh, shoot, not only would we wouldn't have had to punt, we would have had the ball another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That means if we had the ball another 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we wouldn't have had to make another anticipatory play. All of that matters. Herb Sanders, I agree 100%. The chances of the throw, the accuracy, and then the catch are low. The chances of Mateer getting 3 to probably 15 yards are 100%. And then when you take the chances out, we then have a first down. And then when you take the first down out, there's only 4 minutes left in the half. And then when you take the 4 minutes left in the half out, we're still up 2 possessions. And then when you take the 2 possessions out, we still have all the momentum. All of those things stood on the decision of, should I take the guarantee or shoot for a touchdown? I can't express to you enough. Like, this is not like Mackey's opinion. This is the football formula for winning. And I know it's coming from me, so it sounds anecdotal, but I'm telling you, in that scenario, I am 100% positive. Brent Venables was saying, moneyline pun is hilarious. Brent Venables was saying, get the first. The play happened. I spent enough time on it. Mateer played well enough for the most part that game to win. The next play is the punt. I don't know what the hell the punter's thinking. We hold them to a field goal. The defense steps. Oh, again, situational football. This one's not on Mateer. This irks my soul. By the way, I posted it on Twitter. They get the ball. We stopped them when we stuffed them. First down or something. Second down. Marvin Jones Jr. comes free. BV cooks up a beautiful blitz. Everyone's excited because we get the sack. I'm pissed. Does anybody know why I'm pissed? Why am I pissed on the play where BV cooks up a phenomenal blitz and we get a sack, unabated sack? Why am I pissed? I'm pissed because the quarterbacks, this is your purview in a helmet. I'm glad I have a hat on today. This is all I can see. He can't see him. RMT has one, or is it RMT? I think it's RMT. Oh, it's Kip. Kip has one, but Kip's coming from the blind side, which means the back is in between Kip and the ball. Okay? MJ Jr. is coming from the play side. The quarterback can't see him because he's not in this purview. He never sees him. Tackle the football. Tackle the football. Just punch the football. He tackles him up at the head and up at the stomach. He's trying to secure the sack. Again, guys, what I'm expressing is like, I'm telling you, they're going to watch film. I'm telling you. And he's not going to get a minus. And we didn't lose because of it or any of that. But situational football says you have the sack secured, tackle the ball. If he tackles the ball, they never score. They never score. It's still 17-7. It's 17-7. We don't have to worry about that pick six that's coming because I'm coming to the pick six. And I haven't got no material yet. People keep saying the receiver, that is 100% on the quarterback. Name a situation when you don't throw to the guy who's open or when he's covered or he hasn't even looked back. Name it. Name it. In fact, I know exactly what happened. They tricked him. Alabama tricked him. We'll get to the play. MJ Jr., that's a play where I just wish, I really do. I wish the ball is, he's here. Simpson's looking like this. MJ Jr.'s coming here. He could tackle the football, and he doesn't. Doesn't matter, except they score 3 points because they're already in field goal range, and now they're only down 7. That's a game-changing play as far as I'm concerned. Okay, they kick it off again. We don't advance the ball. It's second down. Bama is now saying, we smell blood. Bama has now made an adjustment. You know what the adjustment is? By the way, they did it over 50% of the time the rest of the game. I told you what the safeties did, but you know what the front did? The front. So if this is our offensive line and this is that's only 4, huh? I don't want to do that. So if we've got a center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, okay? Initially, you got a 0 and a 3, and you've got some 4 or 5s. If you want to go wide 9 outside of them, you got a 9 technique outside the tackles. A straight front, even when they went 30 front, we were having success. But more so than that, if you go back and listen to what the telecast is saying, Mateer has time to throw. Our guards, our center, and our tackles know how to assign blocking when everybody's in a traditional front. So what does Bama do? We know they've got 2 freshmen and a redshirt freshman, or I don't know if EPL's a freshman or 2 sophomore. You know what they do? You know what they do? They totally run an irregular front. They say we're going to take 3 to 5 of our on the line of scrimmage guys and put them equal to or outside the tackles. Go back and watch it. And you know what happens when they do that? Our freshman guards don't know what's going to happen. Are they going to fold? Are they going to twist? Right? And so EPL does it the most. EPL has 2 critical mistakes on picking up the blitz. It's not even a blitz. It's just a stunt, actually. They're blitzing sometimes. They're bringing outside dogs. So they're bringing the outside backers or like the edge defenders to take the tackles out of the play, to get the tackles wide. And then they're looping in D tackles. And it's more like 4 DN types. They had kind of gone away from their traditional rundown D linemen or D tackles. They had more like 4 pressure DN types. It'd be like Wine, R&T, PJ, and Halton, right? Like that type of a front. We never recovered. They started doing it in the second quarter. They did it at the pick six. The pick six, they pre-snap move. When they move, Mateer sees, oh shit, blitz. When Mateer sees blitz, Mateer says, oh, I gotta throw hot. Not knowing they're rotating into a cloud corner who's squatting. By the way, really, really, really good coaching. But receiver doesn't see blitz. And let's just say he was supposed to stop. He didn't. He never even got close to it. That ball should never leave Mateer's hands. It should never leave his hands. He got tricked. They ran a good stunt and disguising coverage. And it was Murphy. Murphy showed up in a 4-minute window. And right, everything that could go wrong went wrong. But to say the receiver had a route he needed to run. Those guys moved right at the snap of the ball. It looked like he had a go route or whatever he had. You know, I don't know what Giovanni had on that play. I don't know if it was Cantes or different Giovanni. Mateer threw the ball because he was scared, because he saw a blitz coming. Unless there's a tip pass, like, it's always on the QB first. Josh would take the blame even if it was our fault. I think Mateer would say, hey, man, that's on me. But I see a lot of fans saying, oh, the receiver. No, dude, they changed coverage at the snap of the ball. Quarterback went hot. Oh, somebody said it. Okay, good stuff. He acknowledged he got tricked. Beautiful. I'm glad somebody said that. I didn't hear that. But yeah, they moved at the snap of the ball and went to a cloud corner. The corner literally squatted, and the corner knew he might throw hot. Giovanni is running something. I don't know if it's a curl, a corner, or a go route, but that plays on Mateer. Okay, like that's execution. Anyway, they score 17-17. We go in at the half. We're not losing. We're not winning, but we're not losing. And my issue for OU fans, us, I'm speaking about all of us, is everyone says we should have went for the knockout when we're up 10 on a play that's not a guarantee, but the entire second half, we suck. That's all I keep hearing. We suck. So I'm like, wait a minute. When we have the momentum, you don't want to keep the momentum. You don't want to possess the ball, because all we got to do is beat the clock. You're up 2 possessions. Just beat the clock. I'm not saying sit on the ball for 34 minutes, but I am saying keeping the ball gives them a less chance of scoring with the ball. But the entire second half, it's just negative. And I'm like, that's why you want to keep the momentum. That's why you want to control what you can control. That's why, right? That's why you don't take this huge risk. And 100 out of 100, no, bro. You keep the ball. You potentially score anyway. You give them the inability to score. And now it's a possession game. How many possessions are left is going to let us know how risky they have to be. How many first downs we can pick up tells us how much more the clock we own. That's the game we play. And then situationally, when down and distance presents itself, you take advantage of the opportunity. If they had queued that play up and X-Rob had dropped it, I wouldn't complain. Even if it was 3rd and 3. They didn't. It was a scramble play. And like I said, they practiced this since spring ball. 3rd and medium, 3rd and short. What do we do if we have to scramble? Coach is going to blow the whistle. If Mateer threw that ball in practice, coach would blow the whistle and say, bro, why would you risk that? Take the damn 15 yards. That's what coach would have done in practice on that scenario in practice. They would have watched it in film. They would have told the receivers, hey, man, if they throw it to you, catch the damn ball. Hey, X-Rob, if he throws it to you, catch the damn ball. But he should, on this play, take the yards. Landry Jones should have took the yards. If that's Landry and that play presents itself, Landry Jones should go get 6. He ain't getting no more than 6 because we know he was basically a statue in the pocket. But our least athletic quarterback should have taken that ball. Second half, let me tell you something I think is positive that I don't see a lot of people talking about. We fought back. We fought back. The defense, the second half was terrible. We all understand that. And as much as I have critiqued Mateer on that play, and I'm talking about his situational football, not his execution, the defense was absolutely bad. We were responding the rest of the game. We were reacting to what they did. They always had a half step on us. You know what else they did? They did what DeBoer said we shouldn't do. They played wise situational football to make sure they put more pressure on us at home. Third quarter, it's 3rd and 5. Ty Simpson, we blitz. Ty Simpson, it's actually the very same play. It's actually the same play. I just thought about this. This is the same play. It's 3rd and 5, around the same part of the field. And we bring a blitz to the field. We don't get there. I don't know if they pick it up or if he beats the guy. I don't remember exactly what he does, but you know what he does? He leaks left. He's right-handed. Guess what he does? He runs and gets 15 yards. It's the same play. I got to cue it up. It's the same play. Because they now have the lead. Because they need to possess the ball. Because they're trying to squeeze us and take possessions out of the game. It's literally a mirror play. And we don't even know if somebody was open. What if there could have been a guy open for a touchdown? Ty Simpson said, we don't need a touchdown right now. We need to possess the ball and put more pressure on OU. God, I just thought about that. I just thought about it. By the way, it's literally 35. I think he gets like 16, 17 yards. You know what it is? It's a play where Wine is supposed to be the edge defender and Halton is there too. And Wine gets too far afield. Yep. And Ty Simpson leaks past him. And we don't even know if there was a running back who was wide open who could have scored a touchdown. We don't even know because the quarterback did what he was supposed to do with situational football. It's 3rd and 5. Let's possess the ball. Oh my God, I just realized that. It's called winning football. That literally reduced our ability to have an additional possession. We lost a possession because of that play. Second half of the game, man, it was a slow death. It hurt. We are in a scenario now where we've got to wait another year. I guess I shouldn't discount and discredit the catch by I think Burke scores a touchdown to get us within 3. By the way, great throw by Mateer. Giovanni Gibson on 4th down. Again, Mateer throws another strike. Again, this is not a Mackey's I don't like Mateer 10 thoughts like I've done some games. Like I don't like it. This is the most critical. That's the most critical play in the game to me. It's that 3rd and 3. Mackey, that's crazy. I'm just telling you, the entire game is different. We never have the muff punt. We don't need a pick 6. Those 10 points are gone. And Alabama has to find another way to get the momentum back from us. See, that's the part that people are missing. Those 2 plays, we gave them momentum. We actually gave it to them. They didn't take it from us. So, anyway, here's where I'm at. I'm still in my feelings a little bit, and the play's the play. I had people, Mackie, your podcast sucks. You clearly clicked on it. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Mackie, you sucked. Hey, no problem, bro. I'm going to rock my number 1 ring tomorrow. Unfortunately, and again, it's kind of ironic, right? We kind of did it. We kind of had a red. We didn't have a red November. We had a red October. You know what I'm saying? We kind of beat the number 10, number 2, the number 1 team in America. And the fans get to say, all of you guys get to enjoy this because we got her done. I'm just saying. So where do we go from here? I'm not on the get rid of BV train. Absolutely not. 10 wins, college football era. There are a lot of coaches who it takes them time to get to a championship level. We were lucky Bob did it in 2 years. BV's just completed year 4, I believe. as far as I'm concerned, we have the most competitive team I've seen since Bob left the program. Somebody tell me otherwise. Let's name another team more competitive last night than anybody since Bob left. Baker and Kyler had ridiculous all-time offenses. I don't think Riley's first year had a better defense. 2017 is Georgia? Is 2017 Georgia? Somebody just say yes in the Zoom chat if 2017 is Georgia. Yes. Is 2017 OU versus Georgia squib kick? That team is not better than this team. That team had a better quarterback and had a better offense. Guys, 2017, we couldn't stop dive. We couldn't stop dive. Georgia went untouched for a touchdown. They didn't even pull a guard. They just ran dive, and no one touched him. What's his name? Sidney Michelle or something like that? I forgot the kid's name. Sony Michelle. Two-part question. If you were BV, what coaching changes would you make? If you were Nagy, what personnel changes would you make? Great question, Utah Sooners. Number one, on the offensive side of the ball, so I'm gonna break this down two ways. So let me say this, and I say this because I saw some things in Arbuckle last night that I thought were improvements, and I thought we would see some. His adjustments still suck, or he's a baby. He's wet behind the ears. Alabama went into their pivot, and we couldn't pivot. They literally went into a wide nine and had more guys outside the guards, and the guards had to be looking outside, and they got caught doing this. And guys were just running right by him. Shoom, shoom, shoom. So there's that. But it's not fair to Arbuckle to have some other dudes' guys instead of having his guys. I couldn't imagine Bob coming in and them saying, you don't get to bring in the OC, Leach. By the way, Mangino, Spurrier, Cale Gundy, we're going to keep these guys. Or I guess that's a bad analogy. It would be Joe C saying, we've already got Rex Ryan in the 46 defense, which Bob was a DC, right? But we've got, I know Nick Chubb was there, but I'm just talking about the dive that Sony Michelle ran. they just ran dive and no one touched them. I don't want to hear about that team because the entire team, I agree, bad clock management, bad penalties. We got to make changes on offense. By the way, BV has to do this as a solid for Arbuckle, right? In retrospect, I feel like Arbuckle, we thought it was a dynamic choice, but when you really think about it, it kind of was still the cheap choice. You know why it was a cheap choice? Because we got Arbuckle with the attachment of material with no true quarterback in the transfer portal, which he was number one. So that made a ton of sense. Okay, perfect, 2 for 1. But then we also got him knowing that if we got someone more seasoned, they're not coming without their guys. And this is revisionist theory. The material play on 3rd and 3 is not revisionist theory. That's the football formula to winning, I promise you. This is revisionist theory, for sure. In retrospect, I will 100% admit the hiring of Arbuckle was to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Appease your current coaches that you don't want to have a tough conversation with about inept, from inept to just not the standard. We don't like to spend, so bringing Arbuckle was going to give us a high likelihood to check the quarterback box, which I think we all were excited about. But he was young and inexperienced, so he's not going to be like, he's not going to drive a hard line and say, in order to get me, I need to have autonomy to bring my guys, because in moments like this, Arbuckle doesn't have someone that he trusts. Sure, he's earned friendships and things with the guys that are here, but those aren't his guys, right? So from that perspective, if you want to know names, I think Joe John Finley should be figuring out if he's going to be the next OC at UCO, if he's going to North Texas State, right? If he's going to hop on with Lebby, but he just hasn't, the merit. Dude is a Sooner. You know what else he is that makes me biased towards him? He was a 49er. Joe John was a 49er. You know what else he is? I believe in Sooners who played well and have coaching credentials to get opportunities to coach at OU. I don't have an issue with that. I have zero issues with that. Nobody had an issue when Kel Gunny did it. Nobody had an issue with Jackie Ship did it. When Bob brought those guys back, they did the job. They did it damn well. So I don't think it's ex-OU players that are bad. I just think when ex-OU players are bad, we need to not, coddle and fire their asses just like we'd fire anybody else. Joe John, I think, has merited, based upon merit, being fired. Unless he has some secret widget guru thing that he provides that's intangible that we don't know, that is extremely a force multiplier that we just don't see on Saturdays, which could be true. I don't know. But to me, I'm not gonna hold back. I think he could be fired. I don't think anyone would be like, no, that's a terrible job. DeMarco Murray, also a Sooner. I just ask, what has he produced? I think people can say, I think people can say he's produced some quality recruits, right? I think he gets credit for Ott in the sense of like the NIL, right? Coup. I think he gets credit for Tatum, the #1 running back, class of 2024, 2023. He gets credit for that, but damn it, doesn't he get credit for their production too? Does he get credit for Tawee, who we probably wouldn't have had to pay anything, who started at 2 other programs and was a stud this year? How about Smothers? And I know Smothers has the mom thing, but I'm just wondering if the position coach could do more, because Smothers is back in the portal. And we're going to have to pay 3-4x to get him back when we had already recruited him. Yes, he brought in Hatton. Granted, he brought in Tatum. Tatum was #1 and he's done nothing. So recruits, we know, are boom or bust. I think Hatton's a perfect fit for what we want to do. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about DeMarco getting him. But if you know, Hatton wanted to be the man. He wanted to go to A&M. A&M wanted to brought in another recruit, and because we didn't steal Hatton away. Hatton backed off of A&M because they wanted to double up on a alpha running back, and Hatton said, "I want to be the alpha." And so, just FYI there. But again, right? Like, I get it. I'm an ex-Sooner. I played. People feel like Mackey likes to be contrary. I don't. I just kind of had a really, really, really winning experience, and I kind of want us to do it again. And the running back position, who's the last great running back? And it's not Eric Gray. Eric Gray, I think, is a sharp, intelligent team guy who has enough ability. I think he's still in the league. I don't know if he got let go sometime this season, but he was never a dominating force. The last stud running backs we had were Pirine and Mixon. I mean, those are both like the last 2 dudes we had. The kid who transferred, Kennedy Brooks. I liked Kennedy a lot. Who's the Riley guy? I don't know who Riley is. I know we're not talking about Lincoln Riley. Oh, yes. Ramondre. Yes, I loved him too. Was Ramondre DeMarco's guy? I know Kennedy wasn't. Was Ramondre DeMarco's? Does anybody know? Trey Sermon transferred out, by the way, 49er bust. I like Trey too. He was in a loaded backfield, so I don't really have a big beef with the running back situation because he left because he didn't get enough carries because we had dudes, Ramondre and Brooks, right? Okay, so Kennedy was Riley's guy. Okay, so there it is, right? You're asking me, coaching like the actual merited advancement. What has he garnered at the University of OU? Frankie, I assume you listen to our pod. You are preaching to the choir. I'm going to say my points about material here in a second. I'm going to say that in a second. Yeah, so you're asking me what coaches. I have a serious issue with Joe John Finley, and I am willing to find a new running back coach who can get more production out of the running back crew if it means um, DeMarco has to go. That's just how I feel. And you want context? Texas just fired their DC, who was balling. His name Pete Bykowski, something like that. They fired him. Texas had two stud freshman running backs last year, and I know Tashard Choice left and went to the Detroit Lions, but their running back coach in 1 year fired him. Texas fired their DC. They fired their running back coach because the position needs to merit winning. I'm on the fence with Beat Bo. I've said it all year. Now, today our offensive line got outclassed, or last night. They made an adjustment, and I know Beat Bo's pissed because they literally, I guarantee you our offensive line didn't practice against that front a ton. If you go back and watch the film, there's literally 3 to 5 guys that are at or outside the tackles. They're either head up to outside the tackle. That's not a typical front you'd see. It's a front Indiana's going to practice it because they have it on film. And I haven't watched all of Bama's games to know if they had done it a ton, but it feels to me like with 3 freshmen O-line, doing something like that as a change of pace is a good, you know what I'm saying, a trick to have in the bag as an adjustment because you got a lot of young guys trying to figure it out. So I'm going to contribute that to coaching more so than contribute that to, like, on their end to bad coaching on our end. So, but listen, to keep it 100 with y'all, if he got rid of Beat Bo and said, hey, I'm cleaning the closet so that Arbuckle can get all of his guys, you wouldn't hear me yelling and screaming. Our center played well. Our center played better than our true center. Yeah. By the way, Derek Simmons played well, or better than he had been playing. Ozita was in early and got his ass kicked when we tried to run that first midline. Yeah. EPL has a much higher ceiling, but he's raw. He's still raw. He got picked on the most. Him and Foje both got picked on twists. They line up, head up to the tight end or to the tackles, and they were twisting inside, and they were getting lost, picking up the twist. They were either getting not enough depth so that they were just crossing face, or they were looking the wrong way and somebody was coming as they were looking the wrong way. It was a good scheme by them. And we had pups that just weren't ready. So again, if you told me Beat Bo, I wouldn't kill you. I know Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman was my coach for 1 year. I don't, because someone asked me if I thought that our Kukula would have handled it better. I don't. It wasn't the center, it was the guards. And it wasn't the protection was going the wrong way. The guards have to read twist. The guard and tackle have to be a partner, a tandem. They have to read it, and our guards were getting beat because they weren't accustomed to so many people coming inside from outside of them. I don't think there would have been much to gain there, but I think he would have gotten bulldozed more just head up with their bigger D tackles. So I think that was a net saying. Probably even February is a little better at center than he is. That's just my opinion. I could totally be wrong. I would absolutely err on the side of Gabe on that kind of stuff. He sees that stuff better than I do. By the way, let me say this. I don't give a damn what Gabe and Teddy say. I don't give a damn what the national guys say. I don't give a damn what, I don't know, whoever has a damn podcast for OU. The play, you got to run the ball. I'm telling you guys because I don't have any affiliation. I get paid from YouTube and from licensing sponsors who, that work with us. I don't get paid from anybody. I'm telling you while watching film with Coach what they would have said should have been done. The formula for how to keep the game moving. They would have said, dude, possess the ball. I'm just telling you guys. I would sit in those rooms and be like, what? And then I would have to think they would teach us. And that makes freaking sense. But I wanted the touchdown, Coach. I was hoping for a TD. Why didn't he throw me the ball? bro, because we're up 10, dude. There's 4 minutes left in the half. What if you dropped it? I wouldn't have dropped it, but what if? Makes me sick. You think about those things. And anyway, the other question I think was Nagy. I think we are moving in the right direction. I think this year has taught us that Nagy is going to do some things to try to have splash. I think we got a cool cachet of money. I also think this year we don't have the same issues we had last year. Damn, this is going to sound pretty crass, but I'm going to say it. I think McKenzie, I've heard rumors McKenzie doesn't want to come back. I think we should welcome McKenzie to leave. He's made enough. The first touchdown, it's bad. It's bad, like in the Bama game where he has the fumble right in front of him and he just misses it. Like it looks to me like since he's come back from injury, and maybe it's because Owen took his spot, right? Because at the beginning of the year it was Kip and him. Owen was kind of a 2 with Samuel, and then things kind of flipped. Like, I don't know if that was part of it, but like McKenzie hasn't looked the same since he came back. And I've heard a lot of people saying that potentially he might just be done, even if he has another year. I think that's a conversation they need to really revisit and see if his love for the game, because it just looks, there's been a couple of plays where it just looks like a mental loaf. And I just know that that's not how I've seen him and what BV would, the standard he would expect. So personnel wise, let's just start with the QB. He's got to be in competition. Mateer has shown in the SEC that he is not a force multiplier. He has not consistently been a difference maker. So I guess from the economic standpoint, to me, I guess it's kind of like, if you guys remember the first year, what's the guy's name? He transferred in from Tennessee, played safety for us. I want to say he ended this year at like Tulane or something, bro. He went to like 4 different schools. Does any of y'all remember that guy? Decent player. Safety. What's the guy's name? That's sad. That's how old I'm getting. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The point is, if you guys remember his story, we didn't say you got to go. Yes, Key Lawrence. We didn't tell Key Lawrence he had to leave. You know we did? I think we paid him like $200,000-$300K to come. And then we said, hey, bro, we got $50,000 for you this year. And he said, I think I'm worth more. And he went to another school and got more money. I don't think we tell Mateer you suck ass and you got to go, because that's not the situation. But we cannot, on some nepotism homie hookup, pay him $1 million next year. Let alone we cannot like bring in a kid from NIU who isn't real competition. Mateer needs to be willing to take $800,000 tops if he's going to stay, and be sat down by his position coach, his coordinator, and his head coach and say, we're going to invest heavily in competition for you to beat out. I think it's pretty safe to say it's 50-50 best on Hawkins, and we don't even know what Hawkins can do. So I don't want to bet the bank on Hawkins. This season's over. So my Hawkins conversation is in context to 2025 season, the unknown versus the known. And the known, as far as I was concerned, was not good enough. Damn it, let me see the unknown. Now that the season's over, Hawkins has not shown us that he is a like slam dunk. I'm not saying we need to get rid of him. We need to find somebody who we can bring in to be a slam dunk or extreme competition to Mateer. Mateer almost throws 2 interceptions because he chooses to throw a sidearm pass right into the head of an Alabama guy. He throws a sidearm pass right into his head. Somebody said the Fairweather was there in the 60s. So quarterback, we need to create competition. Running back, honestly, I don't think we spend a lot on running back. I think we're finding that you can get good running backs without having to spend. We've got 2 young pups. Let's get them healthy. We brought in a stud running back in Haddon. I think you go get another one. But you can get a James Madison, whatever, right? You go get a guy who, in case we need depth, we have depth. You know, I don't know if you look for a Blazer or if you look for another bigger guy. I don't know, right? That's for them to decide. But yeah, I think you get another back. We got to spend heavy at receiver. We need a 1. What did the SEC teach us? We need a 1. Satania is a great slot receiver. He's not a 1. Satania is not a guy on 3rd and 7. We can say, hey, we're going to run strong to the side. He's going to play split in backside, and we know we're going to have him one-on-one. And he's not a guy that says, okay, we're going to put him split in backside. They're going to cheat a guy over. Now we have the defense reacting to us so we can do different things. He's not that guy. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but he doesn't play that position. We need a Cam Coleman. We need a we need one of the three kids from Tennessee. All three of them would have been our best receiver. Granted, they're in an offense that uses them more. We need the Giovannis. I hope we keep Giovanni. I hope we keep Keontae. I hope I don't know if Satania has another year. I think he does. I hope we keep Satania. I think Burks is to the league, and I think he played a great last game to really give him some film to help his cause. Yes, Marsh is a great kid from TJ Moore. Right, there's some good receivers out there. We need to go get a, I freaking say it all the time, slant, curl, fade, post, backside X. Maybe it is Giovanni after another year of healing because he's a big enough guy to do it. But damn it, we need a guy on 3rd and 7 where we know the offense or the defense knows that's where we're going and they got to make an adjustment or give us the damn play. Yes, Burks played well last night. 115 yards, touchdown, played good. Good film for him. I'm happy for him. Hopefully he can go in the league. And why in the hell can't Carter stay on the field? Kid catches everything. We're talking about 88? What's that kid's name? I like Jermichael Carter. Oh, you're talking about Jermichael Carter. I like him. By the way, he's like 6'1". He's not a small kid. Did anybody see the Jacob kid get a little catch too? He got his one little play. I think Burks was tired and Jacob came in there and got a play. Oh, Jermichael Carter's nice. Yeah, but I still think we need a one. And I still think the scheme doesn't really give us a key one, So I agree. On the defensive side of the ball, honestly, we didn't pod last week. Let me say this, and I gotta get out of here. It's been an hour and a half. Did anybody notice no one on our defense made any SEC honors except for RMT? None of our backers made top 3 teams. None of the D-line made top 3 teams. Listen to me. That might be a foreshadow. We know how good we think Kip is, but has BV's system stunted a guy like him? A guy like Stone? A guy like Halton? What I'm saying is, I think after last night's game and the post-SEC honors, there's a higher likelihood of guys we thought were leaving potentially coming back. Kip doesn't make any of the 3 teams. Any of the 3 teams, excuse me. I think that impacts his grade. He's still a little bit undersized. Kip's a guy, he's going to test well. He's got film. But I think BV can say, hey, bro, we'll pay you. We'll pay you $700. Right? Come be that guy. And hey, man, we're going for another championship run. Hey, these are the plans we have for what we're going to do. Right? Come, let's go back and let's run this back. I think that's something he would listen to. Halton's leaving, right? I saw Owen Heineke got an invite to one of the senior bowl games, but he's got his deal. And if he gets his deal, he can come back. I would love Heineke to come back. By the way, 2 lighten-ass middle backers hurt you on plays where you need to be physical. You guys see Bama's backers when we were in 3rd and short, how they were able to hit and push us back. Our guys generally have to glance off. It's because both of them are lighten-ass. McKenzie isn't, but McKenzie has shown, right, just that he's a little off. By the way, hour and a half in, 120 of you guys on live. That's awesome. I don't think there's an issue with player evals. I think we maxed, especially on defense. I truly believe we maxed what we had. I just think we need a different echelon caliber athlete now. And we've earned the right to go say, hey, we want those guys. Yeah. I think the linebacker crew is a B 87, 86. I won't say 87 because 87 is like the beginning of a B plus. But they played at an 86. Does that make sense, guys? Like the D line is a 95, and they played at a 94 most of the year, right? The secondary is an 81, and they played at an 81 most of the year. So I don't think we, are doing bad evals. I think it's more so we've got not the best cut of athlete yet, or enough of, and it's going to take recruiting a little bit better, number one, and then development, number two. And you're right. Do I get credit for that? Are people gonna give me credit for that? Because I definitely have been on mountaintops, and people have been saying yes. But like the 22 starters, by the way, it cost us. In my opinion, it cost us a TD. There's no good reason why you just put McKenzie and Samuel in on that drive and keep them in, except 22 starters. There's no other team that is going to be in the playoffs that does that. There's no other team who says, but I get it, right? It's a selling point. You get more guys, but I'm just sorry on that drive. Let's just say Kip and Heine are both dog tired. One of them stays in one play while the other one gets a breath of air. The other one goes out the next play while the other one gets a breath of air. And then the next play, they're both back in. Like, that's just how football has always played since I've ever played it. And I'm talking Pee Wee, school, my buddies, my coaching buddies. One of my buddies, by the way, North Crowley's head coach is now a coach at North Texas, one of my best friends. He was at North Crowley. All right, I talk to him about football all the time. Another one of my buddies is quality control at Texas A&M. He coached with me at Cedar Hill. Like, by the way, I don't know if I can say it, but one of my ex-teammates is currently a college head coach and he's in the running to get a better position at a college place. Again, when I'm done doing business, one of these guys, I'm like, hey, dude, damn it, take care of your bro. But again, like, I talk to guys all freaking day. I don't know anybody else who does the BV thing. I can't hate on BV's philosophy because he's one of the damn best all time, or this generation. I wouldn't say that. He's one of the best this generation DCs in college football. So, but it cost us a touchdown. That drive could have been a field goal if we have our top guys in, or we could have made a play. D-line, we got Jackson and Stone got to come back. PJ's coming back. Wine's coming back. We went out to pay him a pretty penny. By the way, but Wine had a bad game. He had the sack. The sack pissed me off because he kind of taunted too after the sack, but he played terrible. He broke it. He lost contain, and Ty Simpson gets outside of him. On the touchdown, he has a flush hit on the running back, glances off of him, doesn't get his head across. He has the penalty on the sideline, which I don't think is a penalty. What would I do with EJ? I actually know EJ personally. He's another guy that okay. So here's my point. Chris Hooker, 87. If I'm BV, just to kind of like I wouldn't make it about Joe John. I would say, bro, you haven't done good enough. You got to go. But for everyone else, I would say, hey guys, Arbuckle is our man. We gave him a 2-3 year play. I've got to give him a chance to get his guys. Here's the deal. I'm not telling you you're fired, but you've got to re-interview for your job. And if you don't want to, I respect it, but I've got to give him the chance. If the hierarchy is head coach, coordinators, position coaches, I've got to empower my OC. And I've got to hold his ass accountable, which means I give him the autonomy to be held accountable with the people he says can do what he needs to do. Otherwise, what are we doing? So for the sake of a guy like EJ, what I would do is I would say, I made the decision. This is exactly how I would handle it. I run a business with brokers and agents and things of that nature, right? So I have like a analogous scenario where some of this stuff is comparable. But I would say this broker has to have autonomy with the agents that he works with. I am not going to force him to have you guys as his guys. I just think it's fair. And if Ben says, I don't have anybody better, then that guy can stay. But then that devalues Ben. Like, dude, you're the OC, and you know what I'm saying? You don't got no skins, bro. So that's how I would handle that. Hopefully that answers your question. Who are Arbuckle's guys? That's a good question. Again, that's my point, right? Like in revisionist theory, in retrospect, who says I'm Maxwell, I'm with you. Was he really a great hire? The season's over. I'm not hating. It's just like, okay, we got him, but getting him brought material, so that made him sexier. And I think getting him gave BV and Nagy and the rest of the brass the ability to hire someone who wouldn't say, hey, dude, I need my guys. What? Who took over in Archie when Sam got fired? Did Petrino eventually take over? You think Petrino's coming and he can't have his guys? You think an OC who's been in the game 10 years is not bringing his guys? So I would. That's how I would handle that. Would Hype will actually leave? They'll actually think you in target text, Coach McGuire. Man, I missed McGuire by 1 year. When I got to Cedar Hill, it was the year he left to be a tight ends coach at Baylor. But he was around the program a lot. Very charismatic man. Very charismatic man. I'm not surprised by the success. They've also opened up the wallet, right? Texas Tech is the best team money can buy. Any more questions, guys? I got time for 2 or 3 more questions. Yeah, I don't even know who the QB coach is. Yeah, I kind of agree. Again, no disrespect, Sooners for life. I kind of agree with you, bro. Like, whose QB coach allows their quarterback to consistently throw like those type of mechanics? The hell are we doing? So I see what you guys are saying. It devalues Arbuckle's cachet of coaches. Right? You guys, I see what you're saying. You guys are essentially saying, Mackey, I don't know if he has the dudes to bring with him, but I will say, I think he should have the ability or opportunity to at least interview. And I think the OU coaches should be under fire enough to say, hey, dude, you guys can't just live off your name because you played at OU or you've been here for some time. I think all of the offensive coaches should be re-interviewed and be given the opportunity to leave or go, or leave or stay. Leave or go is the same thing. What do you think of Nagy feels about Mateer? Nagy's an NFL dude. Nagy knows damn well that quarterback ain't got it. I guarantee you. One of my good buddies is a scout. He played for OU. I heard rumors he may be even joining the team at some capacity. I don't think he had no desire of joining the team as a coach. So I wanted to let you guys know it wasn't nepotism. But he's been a scout for years, and I think he was going to go like on the Nagy side. Player development and all that stuff, scouting and stuff like that, right? He's been a scout for probably 15 years. I guarantee you. He's scouting his quarterback. I guarantee you he watches that game and he says, oh, this quarterback makes bad decisions. 3rd and 3, up 10, at home. That quarterback should keep possession of the ball. I guarantee you the NFL pundits are critiquing the shit out of that play from Mateer. Because the NFL, even more so than college, is 100% the formula. They are tracking possessions the second quarter. They are tracking field goals, what yard line they got to get to, because the game is all math. We're watching the game thinking it's guys beating each other up. Those guys are in the background playing a game that's math. 100%. Go get an interview. I should. He would. He's low bro. He's definitely good people's. Again, guys, Mateer played well enough to win. I think that is also a true statement. 2 statements can be true. I'm not saying Mateer was a catalyst of the loss. I am saying that one play was a catalyst to the loss. 100%. I believe it's very unlikely we lose the game unless we do some other catastrophic thing later without that play. The game went from 89% in the second quarter. That's what the analytics were saying. By the way, it said it on the telecast, 89% to less than 50% before halftime. I know, yeah. We got some terrible quarterbacks in the NFL, but the NFL is a different game. I'm just telling you. Those quarterbacks, most of them were pretty damn salty in college because college is an athlete. You can out-athlete people most often in college. NFL, it is 100% geometry. And they still got some ponies or some unicorns, right? I know my computer broke. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys, I think I deleted it, but one night, I want to say it wasn't Missouri. I think it was Bama. I bought a new computer that had the whiteboard and it crashed. So I'm on my old computer. I apologize. Sooners for life, I'm talking to you. But I promise you there's an episode up. I think it's the Bama, one of the Bama episodes. And I'm on the live literally, and it and I had to relog in on my old computer. So I've been using that. I think we still have momentum in recruiting. I think we, who love and know our team better than the rest of America, is sick. I think people are thinking Oklahoma's up. I think we're okay. I think Hawkins is going to transfer out. Yeah, again, I always try to operate in a lens or context of the situation. In season, when Mateer was playing terrible, I felt like it didn't hurt to have at least a Hawkins package. And I thought it would be very beneficial to deploy that package just a couple times series a game, just to keep him ready in case Mateer re-injured it or got worse, or because Mateer is struggling. Now that the year is over, he hasn't shown enough to garner any real guarantees. If you're saying your third team quarterback is worth 150K, especially if he's been in the program 3 years and we don't have to reteach a third guy, then right, that might be a fair offering to him. And if he wants to be that guy, program guy, then right, that's all fair and good. But I don't think we send him any substantial portion of monies based upon what we've seen on the field and their inability to use him. But I definitely think he goes to another school and could potentially play well. I definitely believe that. One more, and then we'll get up out of here. I don't know what the scores are. Anybody, what's the score that the A&M Miami game? I literally don't have it on. My battery on my phone is pretty much dead. I haven't even been looking at my phone. I've been like locked in with you guys this morning. Hilarious. Is it 0-0? Let's see. It should have been his ass out of that while the getting is Hawkins playing in Kent State game, throwing side on him. Yeah. I think the Hawkins train is over unless he wants to be a team guy, and I would love that, right? OU guy, dad's an OU guy. He wants to do that, make some money while in college. I would imagine he probably wants to go to a chance to play for the league and a chance to play, which means there's probably going to be another offering for a guy like that at a different school, a different setting. DMack, do you think the 20 days? I don't think the 20 days hurt the defense. They played really well. I think the momentum hurt the defense. I'm telling you, and who wrote that too? Chris, this is just my opinion. I could be off. OU wasn't in any games. Again, maybe South Carolina, but I felt like we were better than them, especially when their best defensive player got hurt really early and they didn't really have a threat to offense. But we just haven't played any games with a substantial lead. I think on both sides of the ball, we lost that edge, and Alabama had to have the edge. And when you just lose that 1%, man, that's all it takes. When you've got two evenly skilled teams, just that 1% is a big deal. It's why you don't give away the momentum. It's why you don't want to give them nothing. If they take it, respect, but you don't want to give them nothing. Mateer gave them a possession. Mateer gave us the opportunity to have to punt, and then we muffed the punt. We gave that to them. We didn't have to. Appreciate you guys. This one was a little longer. Overall, I think the year's an 84. We're Oklahoma, and so I'm not going to give the year where we don't advance in the playoffs and be a national contender. I think people were expecting us to lose for the most part anyway. I think people did about they didn't know how we were going to lose, but about what happened. But this year was a plus sign. This year's a plus sign. We're in the plus. We're in the net positive. And I think next year is an equally big year for Coach BV. I don't think he's on the chopping block like he may have been going into last season, but I think just the brand, are we back and ready to compete, or are we a run-of-the-mill SEC team, is something that a lot of people are going to be questioning. And so we'll see. We are in 5-time better position this offseason than we were any of the prior off seasons, except quarterback. If we go into next year with Mateer and a bunch of NIU dudes as backups, I will say, here's what I will say. I will say we aren't willing to compete with the tip top. Georgia gets rid of Beck for Stockton. Miami goes and gets Georgia's best or who they thought is Georgia's best quarterback because they want to compete, right? Oregon goes and gets the 5-star Q who flamed out at UCLA. UCLA goes and gets the 5-star freshman who they thought had a high ceiling from Tennessee. OU went big time this year. They got to do it again. They've got to do it again. If OU says we're just going to run it back with Mateer, knowing on any given play he could throw the ball into somebody's helmet because he doesn't even throw over the top of the ball, to me, it just says we're not willing to play at the highest level. The guys are getting paid too much money. this isn't feelings, guys. This is economics and business. Oh, thank you, John Robinson. The books and final edits. Release date between the 5th and the 15th. We agreed upon a cover change. If you already pre-ordered the book, you should have received correspondence yesterday with an update. I might release one more excerpt since I got a couple more weeks. It's actually dope. I got to be honest with you guys. I am so, man, there's some homage in there. There's some obviously phenomenal stories in there. It came out better than I ever thought it could be. I'm super grateful to have support and people to help with that. I totally forgot about that damn book. I wasn't thinking about that damn book. But I think I got like first 200 are going to be signed. I think we have like 180 pre-sales. What I'll do is I'll go on my Twitter. I didn't even think to put it in here. I will post the link. It's crimsonredoctober.com. If you just want to know, it's crimsonredoctober.com, or you can go to my website, damianvmackey.com. It's there. You're going to love it. So I just kind of tell you guys a story, and then I'll get out of here. So pretty much finished the book, right? And then I wanted to get a more known publisher. Really what it was I was told the editor that I had wasn't as good. And so you had to get a better publisher who would and then connect you with a better publisher, right? Or editor. I sent the book. Yeah. I'm not going to say, I'm just telling you from professionals, they said that like, it's really good. And so it just made me, it was humbling, man. But I honestly think Sooner Nation, it's also going to echo how I speak on these. It's going to talk about the X's and O's, the Y's, the scenario. It's going to draw the picture for you. It's going to make it very clear what was happening. And I think that's the niche. I think that's the differentiator if you ask me. So yeah. The book is release date between the 5th and the 15th. I think I got three different cover designs that I'm choosing through right now. And so that, and then the editor is going through certain things. I told them like, it has to be written like me. And if you've ever read my stuff on Rivals or all that stuff, like there's a certain style that I have. And I was like, I don't want to release a book that isn't me. I don't want people to read this and think I had somebody create it. It's 100% me. So, but that means it might not be like as formal. You know what I'm saying? You'll see. So you guys will see. But yeah, guys, that was a fun project. Some other things in the making. So we'll see what all manifests from that. But crimsonredoctober.com. I apologize. I'm thinking about the game. I wasn't thinking about that damn book. I know you can go to my website, damianvmackey.com. It has my other business stuff going on there. Plus that, January 5th. If you bought a pre-sale book, you should have gotten correspondence. If you haven't, DM me or something to let me know, and I'll have the guys go look back and see why not. But I'm pretty sure you did, those of you who bought it. Anyway, guys, phenomenal season. I'm hurt too. I have complaints and critiques too. The defense and special team in terms of the entire game were the catalyst behind the loss. But I'm just going to end this season the way I started this podcast when Barry and I first started. My coach, who taught me how to win championships, who I have leveraged in my entire life. I have echoed the sentiments Bob Stoops, and it's not even so much what he said. It was the culture and environment he demanded. That's kind of the demand that I have. He said, guys, when you play football at this level, you watch. The game comes down to 4 or 5 plays. I didn't get it. I had never heard that before. I don't think it's a coincidence that Kirby Smart has been quoted saying that. I don't think it's a coincidence that Nick Saban has been quoted saying that. And it is the key to my belief about certain plays in this game. That 3rd and 3, I think we win comfortably if we simply run and get the first down. No one knows. It's not revisionist theory as far as I'm concerned. I believe it's not revisionist theory because I believe it's just what you're supposed to do in that situation in football. And I believe it puts a bigger mountain of urgency on Alabama, which gives us more certainty for controlling the game. Anyway, appreciate you guys, man. 100 people stayed on to the end, 105. That's freaking crazy. Barry, I think if he feels better, we'll do our post-game pod tonight. I won't be as, I use this one to go into details about that specific player. We'll talk about more overarching the play or the game itself. I'm going to be doing some off-season stuff, some interviews and things. So be on the lookout for that. It's been, I just enjoy doing it. And I like having haters. If you're my hater, I like you. I love you. If you're one of my haters, super duper. Appreciate you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I've dealt with some death in the last couple of months. I know a lot of people are dealing with a lot of hard times. Guys, love on your families, kiss your children, work your ass off, do right by people. I hate people who try to scam and do stuff like that. To me, in the world we live in today, it's just not conducive for the world we live in. And goes through the nation, man. Next year will be another year. We'll be with you guys all off season, heading up to I guess portal's next. Portal and NIL, all that stuff is next. Spring ball will be in a couple months, and then we'll be off and going for the 2026 season. God bless. Love you all. Appreciate you.